tonight. I want to thank the Hudsons for hosting this, and I just got to tell this story before we get started. I'm not going to be very long, but I would have been up here a few minutes earlier. They've got some nice pocket doors on the restrooms, and I was locked in. And it reminded me of during the budget debates, a lot of times you have to get unanimous consent for things. So I'll sneak and go to the bathroom, you know, if I need to, obviously, because we're there late at night. So I'm running to the restroom, and Senator Knotts and I, we don't agree on many things, very few, but everybody there gets along. There's collegiality in the Senate, and I had ran to the restroom real quick, and he was standing on the other side of the door, and he knew I was in there, so when I tried to come out, he stood up against the door, and he's a pretty big fella. So it kind of reminded me of them. But I want to thank the Hudsons, like I said, for hosting this. I want to thank everybody for being here. I would name all of my great friends here, but then I would have to name everybody, and people would get tired of hearing me talk. But I want to just say something about Bill Chumley. The only time my wife and children have ever seen me cry is when we had our miscarriage, which was one of the most painful things I've ever experienced in my life. But Bill Chumley gets me choked up. And he does, because Bill Chumley has more character than anybody I've ever met in my life. I mean, he is one of the most honest people. When he says good things about me, it just breaks my heart, because I look up to Bill. But I want to tell you, we got something accomplished today. I got my first substantive bill passed today. I say substantive, it's something that actually affects your pocketbooks. We had S1125, which says that if you get fired for misconduct, you won't receive any unemployment benefits. Now, that was a cost to the state of about $56 million a year. I had to do it in a manner that I've learned the system after 4 years. And I knew there was a bill they wanted to get passed. They had to get it passed before 5 o'clock, and the Democrats have been using that bill for the better part of a month just to block all other legislation. So the Democrats cut a deal with the lobbyist to get it passed and made their commitments. So when Senator Malloy gave up the floor, I took the floor. And then I held up their bill. So the bill that everybody had been working on for a month. All right. Kept the podium, and they said, well, Senator, if you'll just let them get theirs, then we'll be able to pass this bill. And I said, no, we played that game for 4 years. Yes. This bill's not passing because, you know what, there's not a lot of people with a lot of interest in it outside of that lobby. And my folks back home are tired of $60 million a year being flushed down the toilet. I hear you. So we're going to pass this bill, and then we can get to that bill. So that was how we passed our first bill. It was concurred by the House, and the government should be signing it this week. Everybody knows about the ballot controversy. We are drastically outnumbered. I mean, our House is, I'd like for it to be more conservative. Of course, I'm to the right of Jesse Helms, so it's hard to please me, I understand. But the House did do a good job on the budget this year. They got to the Senate, and we blew through it. I mean, the Senate's the problem. If you look at folks in the Senate, most of them are former Democrats that are Republicans now. They changed because that's what they had to do to get elected. And that's where everything gets killed. We don't have enough to sustain a veto in the Senate. We need a lot of pressure on those folks. I was hoping for pressure and maybe some change, but all these folks get thrown off the ballot. We're not going to have it. So I'm going to have to try to hold down for another 4 years. And I'm willing to do that, but you guys are going to have to get there and go to work for me between now and Tuesday, because I can't do it by myself. And many of you have put in hours, late nights, and have worked and worked and worked. And I appreciate that. But there are a lot of you here that if you've got the time, we're going to need it. And if you can call 10 folks, I mean, that was an excellent idea. I mean, if everybody calls 10 people and turns them out, this is going to be a drastic change for Spartanburg and Greenville as to whether it's me or the former Senator Hawkins. And I don't want to turn the clock back. I mean, there are things, we've ran a positive campaign, but the things that were going on at the courthouse, we knew it the whole time, and now 2 of the judges are in jail. We can't go back to that. And it really matters. This election matters so much to this whole state. And, you know, it's just so important that you do all you can, because if we come up just a little bit short, there's going to be a drastic change in the state of South Carolina, because in the Senate, there's just a few of us that are willing to blow the whistle and scream to the high heavens. And if they take out one of us, they're just going to be so It'll motivate them like you wouldn't believe. So the whole state's really counting on Senate District 12. And I'm counting on you guys, because all I can do is go down there and fight the good fight, but I only got one vote when it comes to an election. So you guys, I just need your help. I thank you for coming out. It's humbling to have so many people show up. And, you know, Amy and I talk about this. When I first ran for office, I didn't want to get up for 2 minutes. Now we'll talk for about 6 hours because you get used to filibustering. But I know everybody's enjoying their meals, but I'll be here until the last person gets through talking. My cell phone number is accessible. If you've got friends, if you've got neighbors, we'll call them and talk to them. People are undecided, but just tell them how important this election is. And I just appreciate you all coming tonight. Thank you.